Introducing YogaPlus. Download now for free. Available on the App Store and Google Play.
Brought to you by wellnessplus.tv and made possible by the generous donations of Psychetruth Patreon supporters.
Hi, my name is Kelsy with Naiana Yoga, and today we're working on prenatal hip openings. You're more than welcome to add this class to a previous hip opening class that we did to make this session a little bit longer, and also to include some pranayama in your practice, but this is also a good class to just stand alone as it is. So let's go ahead and start by placing our hands near our heart. You can close your eyes or soften your gaze. You want to be seated upright, taking a deep inhale and then exhale. And then we're going to start with 3 ohms. So deep inhale. Go ahead and lower your head down to your heart, your hands down to your knees. Lift your head up. We're going to interlace the hands behind the back. Inhale as you look up, and then exhale as you bring your chin down to your chest. Slowly begin to take your head around in baby circles. Then really start to take your chin down to your chest to lengthen along the back of the neck, and then down to your shoulder to stretch the side of your neck. Let's go the other direction. And then we're going to come back to center. We're rolling the shoulders forward. So you're hugging them up as high as they'll go, up towards your earlobes, and then pressing them away from the earlobes. And let's go the other direction. And then we're taking our hands out front in the Jhana Mudra. So that means you have your thumb and your index finger together. The rest of the fingers are outstretched. And then you're inhaling as you take your fingertips up toward the ceiling. And then if you are in your first trimester, take it easy with these twists. You don't want to twist too deeply. Otherwise, just listen to your body, and we're going to twist over to the side as you exhale. And you're taking your left hand and pressing it against the outside of your left knee and looking behind you. Take in a deep inhale. And as you exhale, maybe twist a little bit further if your body will allow. Then inhale, back up to center. And then exhale, we're twisting to the other side. So you're pressing your right hand against your right knee, looking behind you. Then inhale, back up to center. And then exhale, you can lower your hands back down to your knees. And then we're going to go into Sufi rolls. So what you want to do is you're taking your right leg forward. You're going to have your shin parallel with the outer edge of your mat. And then take your left knee and you're placing that in the center of your right foot. What this does is it opens and balances the lower 2 chakras. So the Muladhara chakra, which is the root chakra, it's the first chakra. And then also the Swadhisthana chakra, which is the sacral chakra, and that's our self-dwelling place chakra. So the Muladhara chakra is good for stability and grounding, for family, for your foundation. And then the self-dwelling chakra, that sacral chakra, is really good for your creativity, freedom of expression, but also physically it opens your hips and it massages the lower back as you rotate your spine. So we're placing our hands on our knees, and then we're inhaling as we sweep forward, and then exhale as you make your back round, and then inhale as you sweep forward, and exhale as you round the spine. And then one more. And then back to center. So now shift your weight over to that right hip. You're taking the left leg in front, and then we'll go to the other side. So the left shin will be parallel with the outer edge of your mat. You're taking the right knee, placing it in the center of your foot, and then we'll go to the other side. Remember your breath, inhaling as you sweep forward, and then we'll go to the other direction. And then one more. Shift your weight over to your left hip, and you're bringing your legs all the way back around. Sit in a cross-legged position. From here, we're taking a block, if you have a block nearby, and then you're placing that between your knees. You want to squeeze the block between your knees, and then place your hands slightly behind you. So you're going to rock your hips forward and then back. Create some movement in the pelvic area. Go ahead and remove that block, put it to the side, and then we're coming into butterfly pose or tituliyasana. So you're bringing your feet in to the ground as much as you can. If you find that your lower back is rounded, then it's okay to sit on a block to sit a little bit more upright. Place your hands on your feet and then gently press your knees down. See if they'll naturally fall a little bit lower to the sides. Really root yourself into your mat, and you're lifting up nice and tall, bringing the crown of your head up toward the ceiling. From here, we're rotating each thigh in 2 times on each side. Bring your hands to your hips, and then we're rocking gently forward. This one is usually pretty hard for people who have either a lot of muscle in their legs, if they are weightlifters, for example, or if you have an office job, you're sitting all day, because we tend to build up fascia on the outside of our hips, which is exactly why this pose is so good. It helps to break up the fascia on the outside of the hips. Let's go ahead and flutter the knees. This is why it's called tituliyasana or butterfly pose. And then we're taking our hands out front. We're going to inhale. Exhale as you bring your hands to your heart, and then let's come forward as much as our body will allow. Once you've reached your stopping point, you can extend your hands out front. Palms are flat on the ground, and keep your neck neutral. So that means your head is in line with the neck, which is in line with the back. You're not cranking it up, and it's not really far down. Gently begin to press all the way back up to center. You're going to take your hands to the outside of your knees and gently bring them in, but only go so far as you can because we have big bellies in the way since they are containing babies. Let's go ahead and rock back and forth. From here, we're going into Bhumanasana, which means bow to the Mother Earth pose, which I think is a really beautiful name for an asana or pose. Just go as wide as you can comfortably go without feeling a stretch in the ligaments behind the knee. If you feel like it's a little bit too tight behind the knees, then narrow your stance. You're going to pull up behind the knee and bring your feet in just a little bit more. Otherwise, go as far as you can comfortably go. And again, you can maybe rock a little bit forward and back. And if your lower back is rounded, if you feel like you're falling backwards, take take a block, sit on that block. From here, we're taking our right hand, placing it in front. We're lifting the left hand up, and we're gonna bend over to the side. So inhale here, and then exhale, reach for the pinky toe on this side. Bring your gaze to the ceiling if you'd like. Inhale, let's come back up to center. Place your left hand in front, and then exhale over to the other side. Bring your gaze up to the ceiling. Inhale back up to center, and then exhale. Inhale back up to center, and exhale. Try to keep your toes flexed back towards your head. We're gonna do one more. Also try to keep your hips rooted down into your mat. So if it starts to pop up, press it right back down. Inhale back up, and then exhale, let's come to the other side. Inhale up, and then exhale, you're coming back to center. Now start to walk your hands forward. If you have 2 blocks, you can take both blocks and then rest your forearms on those blocks. Once you've taken a couple breaths here to deepen the stretch, then you can start to walk those blocks out, keeping your palms flat against those blocks, and allow yourself to come forward. Try to keep your back flat and your head is up, so you're not cranking your head too far up or too far down, which creates some neck strain. Go ahead and start to come all the way up. Move your blocks over to the side. And now we're lifting up behind the knees to draw the feet all the way back in. Again, hug the knees and you can rock from side to side. From here, the counter pose to this is upward facing plank. So we're gonna come into Dandasana or staff pose. You have your feet flexed back towards your head. You're gonna count 1, 2 hand spaces behind you. Fingertips are pointed straight forward, palms are flat, elbows are straight. Inhale here, and then exhale, point the toes and lift your hips up toward the ceiling. Inhale as you lift up even more. And then exhale, you can release all the way back down. We're gonna cross the ankles, sit up, and you're rocking forward to come onto your knees. So for a cat-cow, you're gonna be pressing the entire length of your palms into your mat. Remember to rotate those inner elbows so that they're pointed straight ahead. That means if your elbow's sticking out to the side, remember to rotate it. You want your wrist right underneath the shoulder. You want your knees somewhat underneath your hips. A little bit wider is okay. So now let's go ahead and inhale as you look up, and then exhale, round the spine. Inhale, look up, and exhale, round the spine. Inhale, look up in cow pose, and then exhale, round the spine for cat. And let's come back to tabletop. Your head is neutral, and let's move from side to side. You're taking your nose over to your hips, so both your hip and your nose will be moving towards each other. Come back to center. We'll do some barrel rolls. So you're scooping your belly across the bottom of an imaginary barrel. You're scooping the top of your back across the top of the barrel. We're gonna do 3 loops in one direction, and then we'll start moving in the other direction. So now we're switching directions here. And then we're gonna come back to neutral. All right, so now we're going to sit back on our heels, and then let's go ahead and face the front. So we're centered on our mats again. This time we're staying upright on our knees, and then you can extend your left leg out. We're coming into Parigasana or gate latch pose. You want the outer edge of your left foot to be parallel with the outer edge of your mat. And then we're sliding our left hand down our leg as we take the right arm up, keeping it as straight as you can. And then we're hinging at the side to really allow that hip to come out to the side, and you're reaching for the other side of the room. Inhale and exhale. Feel the stretch along the length of your ribs. You might feel the stretch in your groin or the outside of your leg. Inhale and exhale. And let's inhale to slowly come all the way back up. We're gonna replace the left knee with the right. We're going to replace the right knee with the left. And then we're taking our right hand and bringing it to our right leg. Extend your other arm up. And then exhale as you bend over to the side. Again, stretching your arm as straight as you can possibly make it. Bringing your gaze to the ceiling. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale to slowly come all the way back up. And then we can place our hands on our mat to bring our knees back to center. And then we're coming into puppy pose. So we'll be facing the front of our mats again. Stay upright on your knees. And then you're walking your hands forward. This is a good alternative to downward facing dog if for some reason that's not working for you. But it's also a good warm up and prep for downward dog. Go ahead and place your hands directly underneath your shoulders. You're tucking your toes under. We're gonna come into our first downward facing dog. Keep your toes in place, and even if your heels are up, that's okay, but aim to bring them a little bit down towards your mat. They can rest on your mat, great. And then you can take your feet, make sure that the toes are flat on the mat as you alternate lifting the heels. So we're walking the dog. Let's begin to walk all the way up to our hands. We're folded forward briefly in Uttanasana. Go ahead and move from side to side. Allow gravity to do some of the work and stretching for you. If your weight is mostly in your heels, start to shift the weight into the balls of your feet. Lift your tailbone up toward the ceiling. Let's go ahead and come up halfway. Inhale. And then exhale, maybe release back down. Then bend the knees. And let's come up little by little, vertebrae by vertebrae, with the head being the very last thing to come all the way up. So let's find ourselves in the center of our mat. You can face the front of the room. And we're gonna inhale as we sweep our arms up. You can have your hands in the Jhana Mudra. That means you have a round circle between the index finger and the thumb. The rest of the fingers are outstretched. Inhale here, and then exhale as you come down into chair pose. So we're holding this, and if it is hard on your shoulders, you can always come into that football goalpost 90-degree angle with your arms. Otherwise, hold it up here. Try to keep the floating ribs in. That means the bottom two ribs in. And then we're just holding for 10 seconds. Shift the weight back into your heels. And now as you come up, you're shifting your weight into that left foot. You're gonna take the right foot all the way up as high as you can make it. And then begin to cross your ankle over your knee as you bring your hands to your heart and sit back down again. So now this is a standing pigeon pose. We're opening the hips. You should feel grounded into the earth as you sink your hips down and you lift your torso up. And then inhale as you come back up. And then float your leg back down. We're gonna do the same thing, but on the other side. So inhale, bring your arms up. And then exhale as you come down into Utkatasana or chair pose. Shift your weight into your heels. Keep your arms in line with your ears. You're pressing them back, lifting up through your fingertips. Let's go ahead and come all the way up. Shift your weight into the right foot and then extend the left leg up. And then slowly cross the ankle over the knee as you sink down towards your mat. Remember to breathe. Try to breathe in and out through the nose. And then inhale, you're extending up. And then exhale, you can float your arms and your feet back down to your mat. So now you have the option of taking a strap or a belt, and you can loop it over your foot. in order to take your leg back up towards the front and then out to the side. If you feel like your balance is pretty good here, then you can also do without the strap, and also the flexibility that also plays a part in it. So you can use a strap, you cannot use a strap. You can also, for balance, have a chair ready or use the wall. So I'm just gonna be grabbing another option is to grab your big toe, bring it up, and then bring it out to the side. So we're coming into Trikonasana. So the legs are about hip width apart. You're gonna shift your weight over to the left side, and then grab the right toes. You're gonna extend the foot up, leaving room for your belly, and then gently take your leg out to the side. For balance, you can maybe bring your other hand up to your heart. And let's slowly bring it back to center, and then gently release to float that leg all the way back down, and we're gonna go to the other side. So feet are hip width apart. Shift your weight over to the right side. Go ahead and grab that left foot, extend your leg out to the front, and then out to the side. And then gently bring that leg all the way back to center, and then float it back down. And we're gonna start to walk to the back of our mats so that we can come forward for a tree pose. So you're gonna step forward with your left foot. Feel rooted into all four corners of that foot. And then you're slowly taking your right foot up. So you can have it on the inside of your shin or the inside of your thigh. You just do not want it rested on the inside of your knee. So do whatever feels comfortable for you. Then bring your hands to your heart. And then focus on a drishti or a focal point, something that's not moving in front of you that will help you to balance. Take nice deep breaths. You want to press your right knee back, and you're pressing that right foot into the inside of your leg, that standing leg. This is Vrikshasana or tree pose. But it's also known as Dhruvasana, which is named after the Dhruva, a famous Hindu sage. Let's go ahead and take the hands up. And then lower to shoulder height. And then gently, we're gonna step all the way back behind our mats. Now we're going to the other side. So go ahead and step forward with that right foot. Take your left foot up wherever's comfortable. The inside of your leg, either the lower, the upper portion, closer to the groin. You're pressing that left knee back, bringing your hands to your heart. Be careful not to lock your knees. Keep your knees soft. And you can create a pincher action by pressing both the inner leg and your foot together to help you balance. Go ahead and take both hands up. Reach them up toward the ceiling. Then you can bring them down to shoulder height. And then gently step all the way back. Now we're coming forward for one more standing pose, which is Garudasana. So let's go ahead and step forward with that left foot. And then we're wrapping the right leg all the way around. So you have the option of planting your toes on your mat to make it easier to balance, and then squatting down, bringing your hips down towards the earth. Or you can even hook the toes, if your body will allow, around your calf. Then take your left arm up. The right arm comes underneath. So the left arm is at a 90-degree angle. The right arm comes underneath, and then you're stretching the fingertips up toward the ceiling. Let's gently unwind, lift up, hands to shoulder height, and then we can float back down behind our mat. Let's go ahead and step forward with the other leg now. So now we're on our right leg, and then we're wrapping the left around the right. Take the right arm up at a 90-degree angle. Take the other arm underneath, wrap around so the palms are touching, and then reach the fingertips up toward the ceiling. Root down into the earth with your hips and lift up through the fingertips. This is Garudasana, or eagle pose. It's actually named after a Hindu sage named Garuda. He was supposed to have wings and a golden beak, which is why we call it eagle pose. Let's slowly unwind. Bring your hands to shoulder height, and then gently step all the way back. We're gonna come all the way down for shavasana. So let's go ahead and start at the top of our mats. We're gonna inhale, reach up, and then exhale, come all the way down for uttanasana. Widen the feet. Let yourself hang. And then inhale, come halfway. Exhale, release down. Go ahead and step out into downward facing dog. Inhale here. And exhale. One more inhale. And then exhale, place your knees on the ground. You can sit back on your heels for Uttana Marjarayasana. Go ahead and press your hands all the way back up to your hips. Bring your knees together. You can cross the ankles to sit down. So in previous prenatal yogas that we've done, we have propped ourselves up on a bolster for shavasana. This time we're actually going to be laying on our side. And the reason for that is because when you're laying on your back, you're restricting the blood in the inferior vena cava, which is returning the blood to your heart, which means that you're getting less circulation in your body, less circulation to the placenta and to the baby. And for that reason, it's okay to lay on your side, but it's better to lay on the left side than the right side, because that's where the blood vessels are. It's all on the right side. So if you have a nice big pillow you want to use, that's good to place between your knees to keep your hips in line with those knees. Otherwise, you put a little bit too much strain on your hips. And then you can lay down, either placing maybe a block underneath your head, or you can have a pillow underneath your head, or even just prop it up on your elbow. And then from here, you can close your eyes or soften your gaze. Maybe place one hand on your belly. You're going to relax your feet and your legs. Soften your knees. Feel the rise and fall of your belly and your chest. Relax your throat and your jaw. Pay attention to the sensations of your body and your breath, letting go of anything else that comes across your mind. As your mind starts to wander, and all of our minds do, just bring it back to your breath and sensations you're experiencing. This is a good place to pause the video if you would like to take a longer shavasana. And then when you're ready, you can begin to come all the way back up to a seated position. You can sit cross-legged or be in full lotus or half lotus. Full lotus is when you have both feet up on your thighs. Half lotus is just one. You're bringing your hands to your heart, closing your eyes. Let's take in a deep inhale through the nose. And then exhale. And then one more inhale before a final Om. Lower your head down to your heart, your hands down to your knees. Lift your head up, Open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing this hip opening sequence with me. If you'd like to make the session longer, then we have another prenatal hip opening sequence that you could do prior to this one that will make it longer. And it also includes more pranayama, which is a breathing method that helps you to access that internal life force energy. It's all located on our YogaPlus app, so you can download that app for this video and many others. Thank you, and I look forward to practicing with you again. Namaste.